let's look at it arithmetically. The on-balance sheet liabilities of the U.S. government, and I'm not going to talk about other economies, which are in mostly worse shape, but the on-balance sheet of the U.S. liabilities, of the U.S. federal government, not state and local government, exceed $37 trillion. And that's the number that the naysayers focus on. But the truth is worse. The off-balance sheet liabilities of the U.S. government, represented by entitlements, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, federal pensions, military pensions, that number is estimated by the Congressional Budget Office at $120 trillion. Now, to put that $120 trillion in perspective, gross federal income at the United States, revenue into the federal government from all sources, before they do anything like pay salaries or bomb foreign countries or whatever it is they do, is only $5 trillion. So you're trying to satisfy an obligation with a net present value, not a nominal value, a net present value of $120 trillion on gross income of $5 trillion before other expenditures. That doesn't work. There's two ways out for the United States. One would be an honest default, which is where you say to the bondholders, yes, we realize we owe you $37 trillion, but we don't have it. And you say to the Medicare and Medicaid recipients, the Social Security recipients, say some old codger like Rick Rule, yeah, you paid in for 60 years. That's right. We understand. But there's no money. So we're going to renege on part of our promises. That honest default isn't going to happen. We're in the midst of a dishonest default, where we honor the nominal value of our obligations to our bondholders and to entitlement recipients, but we inflate away the net present value. My belief is that over the next 10 years, in an absolute sense, the US dollar will lose 75% of its purchasing power. Not in a relative sense. I don't think that the US dollar will do badly against the pound, against the sterling, against the Canadian dollar, against the Australian dollar. Countries that have the same circumstance, but maybe less resilience than the United States. But I do believe that in an absolute sense, the US dollar loses 75% of its purchasing power. That's a consequence of the fact that we've lived beyond our means for 40 or 45 years. The gold price, I think, is a reflection of that. I'm not certain that the gold price, which has risen in nominal terms from $253 an ounce in the year 2000 to some number exceeding $3,700 today, I'm not certain in a real sense that the gold price is up at all, but in a nominal sense in US dollars is up 9% compounded. I would suggest to you that as a consequence of our society living beyond its means, that the increase in the gold price represents the deterioration in the purchasing power of the US dollar, represented by the deterioration in confidence that US and foreign savers have in the integrity of the US dollar.
Yeah, so it's just a shift away from, as you said, US dollar to these wealth preservation assets. Because I guess if you look at it, gold is, or the dollar has depreciated against gold close to 50% over the last 3 years. And it seems like you think that's going to continue.